Hello and welcome to Strangeplay. My name's Rik.
I'm Simon.
And this is our weekly news recap for the third week of February. Is it the third week?
Yeah, we're into the third week now.
This year is going by so fast.
It is.
Like, it's crazy how quickly it's going.
Yeah, it's only going to speed up as we get older.
Yeah. I think we've spoken about this before, but you're not wrong. So while we don't have a lot of time because we are getting old, we better just crack on with the news. And the first story is one that I'm actually really excited about. And that is that the Spyro the Dragon trilogy is getting a remaster that's coming to PlayStation 4 this year. So multiple sources have reported that Activision is working on remastering the original Spyro trilogy from the PlayStation 1. The reports say that the Spyro collection will be announced in March and released sometime in Q3, with September being a projected release window given that it's going to be the series' 20th anniversary. That's like the perfect time to release it.
Oh god, is it 20 years? My word, that's passed so quick.
Like you said, man, we're getting old.
Yeah, I remember playing these on PlayStation 1 at Christmas.
20 years, like, that's crazy. So apparently these games will be in a form of a remastered trilogy similar to last year's Crash Bandicoot and Sane trilogy, and will feature completely new assets, animations and a reworked save system. Development is reportedly being handled by Vicarious Visions, who worked on the Insane trilogy, and will include Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage and Spyro Year of the Dragon, and will be launching with PS4 Pro support. Now, I'm really excited about this. While I was playing the Crash Bandicoot games with Elliot, I was saying if these do well, I really hope that the Spyro series gets remade, because I prefer Spyro to Crash.
Right.
And like with Crash, when the rights were sold to, I think they were sold to Universal, the Spyro games went down the shitter a little bit.
Yeah, I remember playing the first couple on the PlayStation 1, and then they sort of went all over the place, didn't they? They became... weren't they on GameCube as well? I think they were on.
Yeah, GameCube, Xbox and PlayStation 2 is when they started to go shit. Because you can see, because when they were Sony, who was it who...
Insomniac Games, yeah.
Yeah, Insomniac did these because Naughty Dog did Crash. So when Insomniac was making them, they were on the PlayStation 1. And they were exclusive. But then when the rights were sold to Universal, and any fuck was making them, and they lost part of what made them Spyro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the same thing happened with Crash. So it's really nice that the original trilogy is getting a look in again.
Yeah, I remember playing them and being fond of them at the time, but for me, when they announced this, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know how well they're going to age. I think it'd be interesting to see how Vicarious Visions deal with it, because the way they dealt with Insane Trilogy, they sort of changed the jumping a little bit, and everyone says it was more difficult. So I wonder if we're going to see things like that.
Yeah, but like the big difference between those two games is that the Spyro games weren't difficult in the same way that Crash was, because the Crash games were difficult anyway.
Number one war, yeah.
And by changing the hitboxes. By changing the hitbox on Crash and everything, they made things a little bit trickier. But the kind of precise platforming and stuff that you get in the Crash games isn't in the Spyro games.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to be an issue.
It should be interesting, when you see these, when the Crash games came out, you could see people that were side-by-side comparisons, they knew those games inside out.
Yeah.
And, they're going to do the same for Spyro, if there is anyone. But, well, I should imagine there will be, because this is the internet and every fucking corner of the world's got its fandom. So, yeah, it's going to happen, and it's going to be interesting to see, what makes it through and what doesn't. Because there'll be bound to be some stuff that just that don't work in today's gaming landscape.
Well, I'm looking forward to it having analog support.
Did it not have an analog support originally?
I'm not sure if the first one came out when analog sticks were a thing. I think the first one came out before analog sticks.
Right. I seem to remember playing it with an analog controller.
Really?
I don't. Yeah.
I don't. I just remember playing it with a D-pad.
I remember square used to be dash, yeah? Like run forward.
Something like that.
It's such a long time ago. So yeah, good for those people that are into the Purple Dragons from the 90s.
And if they put the camera on the other analog stick instead of having it on the shoulder buttons like a lot of PlayStation 1 era games did, that's going to be a massive quality of life improvement.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because they're just I know this is going a bit off tangent, but Shadow of the Colossus apparently controls awful.
Really? Well, the new one?
Yeah, the new one, it's they've made a load of leaps and bounds in the way it looks and stuff, but the way it controls and plays is just meant to be frustrating as fuck.
Well, it was the original controlled like shit as well. The Team Ico games just control like shit anyway.
But apparently it's not aged very well, and it's very frustrating to play.
Oh, that's a shame.
To move on to his next story?
Yeah, what's next?
Right, THQ Nordic have bought Koch Media for 121 million euros. This brings franchises like Saints Row, Red Faction, Darksiders, Homefront, The Blob, Dead Island, Metro, and some other stuff together. Apparently, not much is going to change with this acquisition. It's just basically they just bought it because they can, I think.
Yeah.
Which is nice to hear. Unfortunately, this doesn't include the people that lost jobs through failures of Agents of Mayhem being a bit of a bumble. Dead Island 2 is still apparently happening. It's been entrusted to the finance at Sumo Digital. But yeah, apart from that, it's one of those stories that's like, okay, that's come out of the blue. I didn't think that were going to happen.
I think this is awesome. This is so good because when Nordic bought a load of titles or a load of IP rather, when THQ were defunct, that saved a lot of those things. Then they bought the THQ name and merged it, and that's why they're THQ Nordic. And now the fact that they've bought studios that own titles that also belong to THQ, it's like they're bringing this studio back from the dead. And it's so nice to see because THQ had some great games and they had some great IP under their belt, and when they went bust it was a real shame. And just to see Nordic trying to bring everything together again under one roof, it feels like we're getting THQ back.
I think, is it Koch Media that do the more independent stuff as well? They publish a lot of independent stuff.
Yeah.
Do like Atlas do?
No, Deep Silver. It was Deep
Silver apart.
Yeah, so Deep Silver do it, which by proxy means Koch do it. But Deep Silver, they're doing Bloodstained. They're doing Shenmue 3. They partially financed Mighty Number 9, which, you know, everyone gets one mistake.
Whoops.
Yeah, but, you know, they weren't to know. But yeah, it's Deep Silver. Deep Silver actually published Persona 5 over here.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
When Persona 5 came out, yeah. So,
Deep Silver did the original Dead Island as well.
So, yeah, this is great. This is great, and THQ Nordic are just going to keep getting better and better, to be honest.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like you said, no one loses out on this. People are going to keep jobs, games are going to keep being made, like titles are going to keep being supported, and it's just nice to see a studio bringing all these IPs back to where they belong. And like you said, it's a shame that people who lost their jobs due to Agents of Mayhem not being very good, but I'm pretty sure that if this deal would have gone through before, those people would have been safe too.
Maybe they might be taken back on at some point.
They're going to keep making games, so who knows?
Yeah.
So what is next?
Right, Sea of Thieves announces it has a premium shop. A while back, someone did a little bit of hacking on the... Well, not hacking, but like looking through data files and stuff and saw that there was a premium shop there. And Rare have come out and gone, yep, straight up, there is a premium shop in Sea of Thieves. Right. What they were quick to jump on is the old loot box thing. Apparently, loot boxes are not a thing in this game.
Okay.
It feels like we've been talking about loot boxes for a fucking eternity now.
Yeah.
But there are no loot boxes in this. They've come down and put their foot down and said, look, this is it. No loot boxes. There's just things that you can buy outright. That are cosmetic and all the other stuff that they, fucking put in with the cosmetic things, the emotes and whatever the fucking, class as cosmetic.
Yeah.
Right. The thing is, Rare are in a bit of a situation here. They're damned if they didn't announce it. They just released the game and it were there.
Yeah.
And if they just dropped it into the game after, people would have fucking played fuck up. But they're damned because they have done it. I mean, this is the state of the game industry now. Developers are actually going, oh yeah, there's a premium content thing in our game. And that is fucking mental. Like, if you were told that in, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, there will be storefronts in your games that you can buy extra stuff from that's just basically nothing.
Yeah.
You'd have laughed in the faces, wouldn't you? But now it's just the normal, and people are like, oh, all right, yeah, okay. No one's against it, and it's like, I just find that completely baffling. These premium items won't be in the game at launch, citing Craig Duncan, who told Eurogamer, launch is about launching a great game. Like, fucking bullshit. Like, it clearly isn't, is it? It's about getting those reviews out in stone before you show what you had in the game that should have been in there from the off. That's the way I see it. I mean, this monkey that your crewmates can, piss about with and put it in cannons and throw it overboard and, basically jape about with it.
Yeah.
That should be just in the game. And they are animals that are in the game. There's snakes and stuff that you can, put on your treasure piles to make it harder for other people to steal them. But it should have just been a blanket thing. All the animals, all the stuff in the game, fine. Fucking done with. Because it's a well-known tactic, this. They fucking have a game out, it's out a couple of weeks, and then they slip the fucking thing in by the back door. This monetization fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
Now, I've watched a bit of this game. I've watched a fair bit of it, actually. My friend has streamed it on beta. And do you know what? That content, they all pissing about with monkeys and whatever other animals they decide to put in, is really, really fucking needed. Because you're on a boat, you're sailing from A to B, you're working out where you're going to go, and unless you get attacked, or you decide to attack someone on the way, on your journey, there is nothing to do.
Oh.
You are just on a boat. That's it. So these things, with the animals that they said, oh, you can do this, you can do that, you can put the monkey in the cannon and fire it and, do funny stuff, is content that could have been there that's like, oh, this is actually needed. It's going to stop those dull times when you're basically commuting by sea.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Right, and they reiterate a few times on how this, all market doesn't affect your power or progression.
Yeah.
But the bits between those loops, actually going out and getting stuff, what are you going to fucking do? You're just going to stand on your ship, and when you're fucking bored of playing your hurdy-gurdy on the bow of the ship, then what is there to do? Like, you're taking content out of the game and selling it back to us. It's bad. It's bad for us, and it's bad for you. Because people are going to go, oh yeah, fucking fuck that, I'm not buying that, it's bollocks. I bought the game, it should have just been in there.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier how they can't win this by announcing it or not announcing it. But they can win. And the winning is just by simply removing all this premium fucking nonsense and putting it in the game for every single person that buys the game to enjoy. I mean, most people would like to earn that stuff. If you had, say, like a pirating game, it's like, oh, I went to so-and-so, it tells of my adventures on so-and-so island. I went here, I tamed it, or, I did something. I killed a pirate and, claimed his fucking parrot, or whatever. Actually make content that is interesting and people want to engage with. But now it's just like it's a double-edged sword. They've won both ways. They've cut out fucking doing stuff like that, and they're also charging you for the fucking pleasure. You're paying them not to play the game. It's just incoherent. Why anyone would fucking want to do that? And they argue that to develop this game with new content that they need this money, right? And I'm not doubting that they don't need money. They do need money. Because money fucking drives things. But they shouldn't be fucking relying on the game to sell well enough and then have this trickle effect to fucking make new DLC. That's a shitty thing. That's like you going, oh, well, I hope I get extra overtime this week because otherwise I can't fucking put electric on. It's fucking stump. It's stupid. You have to budget correctly when you're making these decisions to make sure that ends meet. Is it bad management? Are they hand to mouth? Because if they are, they've fucking, they've over fucking budget. They've under budgeted rather. It's fucking stupid. What they should have done is focused on making an incredible game laden with all the stuff, even the fucking market stuff. Just put it all in the game, let everyone fucking have access to it, and, make the fucking game the thing that people buy to, fund the fucking next thing. Like, this is just, it's fucking stupid. Talk about having your cake and eating it. It leaves a nasty taste in my mouth, I've got to be honest. Like, it's just so fucking greedy.
Yeah, sadly, this is the climate we're living in with games now. And this is the thing as well, this is the thing that's confused me about this one. Is this microtransactions or is it mini DLC? Because there is a difference between the two things. There is a clear distinction between the two. Like, to me, a microtransaction is something, it's a repeat transaction. It's like, here's some points. I spend this much money to get this much in-game currency or to get this many resources. But this, to me, sounds like it's mini DLC. Now, I'm not defending it by saying, oh, yeah, because a lot of the time, this stuff should be in the game. If the game had come out and then 6 months or even 3 or 4 months down the line, they went, oh, we're bringing pets into it, then that's a different story. Because it makes it look like, at least looks like, this is an afterthought or something that wasn't ready for the end of development, and it was a way to improve the game and make it more fun. And they were like, what can we do to the game? Oh, fuck it, we can put pets in it.
Yeah, there's additions after the fact that it's been released, but this is pre-planned.
Yeah, like before the game's even out, they're going, oh, and then you can buy more shit. That's the issue I have with it.
It's pretty deceitful, isn't it?
Yeah, like this to me doesn't sound like microtransactions. It just sounds like mini DLC. In the same way that Monster Hunter World doesn't have microtransactions, but it does have mini DLC.
Yeah.
You know,
but they're still pointless.
Yeah, it's still stupid, and you don't need it. It's just a fun distraction, and I won't be buying any of it.
Yeah, if that monkey were like consumable, I think that's the better way to explain it. If it were consumable or throwaway, then it's a microtransaction.
Yeah, but once you've got it, it's like buying a pet in Elder Scrolls Online or something. You know, that's not a microtransaction. That's something that once you've bought it, it's there. You know, but yeah, I do think that the fact that they've come out before the game's even out and gone, oh, by the way, you can buy extra shit once it's out is a little bit despicable.
It sort of reminds me of Evolve, when they were like, oh, you can get this, and you can get this, and you can get this, and it's like, fucking hell, game ain't even out yet. And you try to just flog me rest at shite that you've got planned.
Yeah, the other thing about this story that makes me sad as well is the fact that they're being cheered and being, I suppose, like lauded for saying that we're not having loot boxes, no loot boxes. You can still buy shit, it just isn't loot boxes, and people are like, yeah, no loot boxes in Sea of Thieves. And the fact that we're now at a point in the hobby where that's something that is celebrated instead of expected is a bit damning. You know, that makes me sad. But
I think that Sea of Thieves will be something that really lauded when it comes out, and people will end up hating it. That's my prediction. So that's my Pacta hat coming on.
Yeah.
When in my Pacta hat, it'll be 3 or 4 months after it's out, people will fucking hate it because of, you know, how it deals with stuff. That's my Bubsy the Bobcat fucking hat that I'll be eating if it,
the one that
turns out to be false.
The one that you didn't have to eat a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Okay, so what we got next?
Ironically, we're talking about loot boxes now.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah,
come on.
But this might be the start of good things to come. So Chris Lee, the Democrat that did the "it's a trap" line back in November when the loot box clusterfuck that is Star Wars Battlefront 2 was released, has put forward 2 bills to the Hawaiian State House and 2 separate bills to the state Senate. Said bills have suggested legislation that games containing loot boxes that can be bought for real money be restricted at sale to those that are under the age of 21, and also that the drop rates of said loot boxes must be marked clearly on the product's packaging. So basically, what this means is if the bill goes right to the top of the State House and the Senate, then the shit hits the fan for loot boxes in Hawaii, as all games sold there will have to adhere to the proposed laws, as well as the people selling them having to make sure that they don't sell these products to anyone who are under the age of 21.
Right.
So if you don't know much about gambling and the USA's laws, Hawaii is one of only 2 states where it's not allowed, and the other being Utah.
Wow.
However, it's a bit more complicated than that, with gambling being broken up into what is allowed and what isn't state by state.
Yeah, because they've got like the Native American like casinos and stuff, aren't they? They can operate gambling things where other places can't.
Yeah, because it's like
exempt from the law.
Yeah,
in that situation.
Yeah, so in places like Delaware, Nevada, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, they're the only states that permit online gambling. And bet you can't guess what loot boxes fall under.
Yeah, it's online gambling.
Yeah.
It's the very definition of online gambling.
Yeah, so Chris Lee said that more than half of US states are looking into similar legislation, and he said that if enough of the market reacts, the industry would have to respond and change its practices. So what we need to happen is the big players to get involved. Hawaii and Utah only has a population of 4.5 million combined, so for reference, London has numbers approaching 9 million.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's crazy. So what needs to happen is the most populated states, so places like California, Texas, Florida, and New York all need to be on that list that says that half of the states are looking to slam some laws down to prevent all this loot box stuff from falling into the hands of under 21s.
So this is actual progression on getting rid of these loot boxes, because they're not going to want to do the all, this is for 21s and over. Because
games at the moment, M for mature is 17.
17, isn't it? Yeah.
This is taking it into basically X.
Yeah.
So,
and also, they're not going to want to put the drop rates on the boxes either, because they're shit.
Yeah.
They're really, really bad.
Yeah, that's like putting the odds of winning on a scratch card.
Yeah.
If you look at your scratch card and it's like the odds of winning fucking 1 in 300, you're going to go, there's no point.
Yeah. So it's got to be marked for 21s on the box.
Yeah.
And it also has to have the drop rates on the box.
Yep.
Just rewinding back a little bit to Sea of Thieves, they're adding that in after the fact. So what happens there? Because they're getting it in through the back door there.
But it's not loot boxes.
Yeah, but some companies are going to do that. We've seen loot boxes introduced into games after the fact.
Oh, I know. I see what you mean.
You see what I mean? Like, they're not coming in when, say, like, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 had sticker packs in them, but you couldn't pay for them.
Then legally, they are going to have to remake the boxes to add the new information on. Otherwise, they're going to be able to be done for false advertising or keeping information back.
Just being pulled from sale.
Yeah, they'll get fucked for it.
See, I mean, it's a weird fucking place to be in because this law is trying to chase something when Joe the horse has already bolted.
Yeah.
It's shutting the stable door.
And the sad thing is, I don't think that this is going to make a difference.
Do you not?
No. Look at people who buy mature games for their kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to look at this and go, oh, well, this has got loot boxes in it and little Jimmy's got a shit chance of winning. They're just going to go, oh, little Jimmy wants this game, I'm going to buy it for him. His PlayStation's connected to the store. Or even that doesn't matter because, loot boxes, you win them through games as well. Parents are still going to buy these games for their kids.
Yeah, it's not gonna break it. It's just gonna make it harder for the kids to buy them themselves.
Yeah, it just means that little Jimmy's going to have to wait an extra 4 years before he can buy it himself. It's nice, and I do hope that, developers and publishers are going to be looking at stuff going, oh, well, it's a bit of a hassle to get things in, but you still get 18 rated games and mature rated games, and kids are still playing those.
Yeah.
Because the parents who buy those games don't give a fuck.
It'd be interesting to see how something like Destiny 2 or Call of Duty would get, like, harping back to last week's story, Joe, with the fucking $4 billion or $2 billion in profit.
Yeah.
Like, how would they deal with that? Because them $2 billion are coming off recurrent purchases. If you buy it, you can only sell it once, like the monkey. You can only buy it once.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're looking for a specific skin, or even say something like Counter-Strike, which is basically all fucking skins and, for your knives and stuff, like, how does that work? Because you're opening boxes, you don't know what you're going to get in it.
Yeah, and
like, it's going to upheave a lot of things here.
Well, games like that are going to have over 21 and the drop and, the rate for certain boxes on the case, right? But people who already own those games, it's not going to affect. People who are buying those games secondhand, it isn't going to affect. People who are buying them who are over the age of 21, it isn't going to affect them.
I think it's going to be something that, Joe, like any future releases are going to have a careful think about, the landscape of the loot box and how toxic it's possibly going to be.
Yeah. And
either think of loopholes to allow them to get through, like they did with China and Overwatch, or just do away with them, like move on to something else, because it's very plausible that the market is going to dictate, or the market laws rather, are going to dictate that they're not allowed anymore.
Yeah.
It's such a complicated hot button topic that there's not really one answer for it. But I think this maybe is going to scare the industry into coming off this track, maybe.
It might be a step in the right direction that gets, Congress looking at the issue a bit more seriously. And then, this could be the first steps towards a total ban, because they could argue the arguments that we've made now. And so the way to keep people safe, whether they be kids or whales, is just to put an outright ban on them. And then if you put them in your game does not get sold.
Or it gets a 21 mark on it.
Well, no, because that's what they're going for anyway. If they put an outright ban on loot boxes in games as gambling, and try and find a way around it, that because this is what's really frustrating, is people constantly look at video games and call it children's entertainment, right?
We're a long way from that now. We're a long way from that.
Yeah, but people still look at it as a children's hobby, especially the fuckers in Congress who are all like 50, 60. They don't know what video games are.
Yeah, this Chris Lee's like one of the first to actually look at it from a level-headed perspective. Yeah. I think he plays, doesn't he?
Oh, I couldn't tell. I don't know him.
Yeah, I think having read some of his stuff, he's grown up with it, so he's got some idea of what he's fucking talking about.
Yeah, and it's good. Like as time goes on, more people are going to get into positions like this with a background with the hobby. You know, they're going to know what goes in, what's good, what isn't, and that's when changes are going to get made. But yeah, it's a step in the right direction. It's good to see that people are taking notice, that Congress and, you know, the State House is taking notice, and hopefully it is going to lead to a change further on down the line. And
yeah, and for better consumerism.
Yeah.
And also, like, maybe, I mean, we hadn't heard anything from the EU on this. We had Belgium and Sweden that were, or Netherlands, I can't remember. Maybe it'll cause ripples over here, do you know, to get something done as well.
Yeah, give it a week.
Because it's something that's, it can't be allowed to continue to go on. It's too predatory.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Again, children's in Wales. Anyway, this seems like as good a place as any to leave it for this week. So if you want to talk to us about any of the stories that we've spoken about on this episode, you can do so on facebook.com/StrangePlayUK, which is our Facebook group, or you can speak to us on Twitter @StrangePlayUK. Feel free to leave a comment below. If we like what you're saying, we might talk back to you. Similarly, you can also go to Instagram and follow us at Strangeplay. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.